Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield. Wow. Welcome to the Laura Canfield show. For a second there, I was like, I forgot my name. What am I saying? Thank you so much for being here. I'm so, excited and looking forward to this conversation with Ana La Rai, and we are going to be talking about tools for managing the 2019 energies. And I guess the reason why I kind of messed up at the beginning there was like, I was thinking about 2019 energies and 2020. I keep hearing about 2020, 2020, 2020. So it's like, oh, I wonder if Ana La Rai has some information about that too. So we'll see. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But we're also going to be doing some guided process or meditation, and Ana La Rai is going to be taking your live questions today. So for those of you who don't know, Ana La Rai is a divine planetary liaison, a teacher, healer, emissary of love, and universal channel for many ascended masters, collective consciousnesses, whales, galactics, and light beings. She's been with us on our show a couple of times now, and always so much fun, always lots of high vibrational energy, and information and wisdom that Ana La Rai channels is always practical and relevant to what's going on. So she is of the angelic realms and has spent many lifetimes on Venus learning about love. And she's blessed with gifts which can assist individuals and groups in moving forward, connecting to their own divinity and unlimited potential. So you can read more about Ana La Rai on the live page if you'd like. But I want to get right into it because I'm really, excited about 2019 and what's coming up. So first of all, Ana La Rai, welcome to the show.
Hi, Laura. Nice to be here again. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
So yeah, I don't know what was going on there at the beginning. Like what was coming through? My whole name was like, So we're going to be talking about 2019, the energies and how to manage, those energies, some tools to manage. But do you know what's going on right now with 2019 and 2020? Like, what have you been hearing from your guides and from the collectives?
Well, just before we start, if that's okay, what I'd love to do with everybody who's on already and those who are joining us is let's connect to the light, because whenever I'm doing any energy work or talking about it, I always prefer to start that way. And I didn't realize until I was on video the first time that I throw my hands up, but you don't have to, it's up to you. So let's connect to the light and let's just bring pure source light in. So, and it's always a great way to start your day and any energy work you're doing. And just feel as we bring that pure light from source down into your crown chakra, and just allow that source energy to move through you. And when you do this every day, you can take as long as you want or do it as quickly as you want. But I just find it really assists me in, holding the energies and being present. So, when you're talking about 2019 and 2020, I'll share with you, my guides haven't talked about 2020 at all, but they're really about the here and now. So I keep getting all these promptings and information about 2019. So one of the things I do regularly every month, and I think Laura, is I do the guided full moons. And for me, they're really, really powerful because they bring in tools for individuals. And so in the last 2 months, they're bringing in all these tools as well as other things that they keep telling me that 2019 is just building so strong. And I feel that with all my work with the Alchemy Collective as well. So all my indications are, and I know every year, because someone said to me, oh, they always say the energies are growing. They are, but they just seem to be growing exponentially. I don't know what it feels like to you and your listeners, but things are just moving. And so what they've done, what my guides are telling me is that, when we talked about a topic for today, it was really about helping people be prepared and managing the energies of 2019. And those are partly what we're going to talk about. I've put in all the special offer too to make it, to line up for people. But there are a lot of things happening energetically with the vibrations rising on the planet as we work towards the transition. But what's happening is, if you're on your path and doing your work, it's a whole lot easier, not always smooth sailing, but it's a little bit easier. But you really need some tools to utilize, some tools to help it be smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all kinds of tools, not just the ones I have, but I'm sure all kinds of channels and people are bringing out tools. And some of our old tools work great that people forget. So some of the things that I have found is that, for example, is to ask if you know of Dr. Lorphin. Dr. Lorphin is the head of the Galactic Healers. He's a green praying mantis. And I regularly ask him at least once a week to put me in an integration chamber. And so when I go to sleep, I ask that all of these energies be integrated into my physical form so that it's a whole lot more graceful. And last year in November, a group of guides came through, and they, in the full moon, and what we did last November was we did integration chambers for the whole year. So I go in, and I know a lot of people that follow me go in every 4 days and have an energetic integration, and that ends the end of this year. So what they did last month is, and I was kind of, I'll tell you, I was astounded, and it was really an indication of how strong the energies are going to be. They created in the full moon, in the November full moon, we did copper pods.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen copper in any of my meditations. In my painting, I get the color copper, but not in the meditations. And so it was like, wow, this is copper. And they created these beautiful egg-shaped pods with all these threads of copper. And what they will activate on January 1st or whenever people call on them.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool is, you know how a lot of the tools you have to activate them regularly? This, you do it once and it's there for the whole year. And I've never had tools that just stayed in place the whole year.
Right.
And what they are is they're going to work as filters and modification pods so that the energies of 2019 coming in are filtered in your system to make it easier for you. Easier for you,
Mm-hmm.
wherever your energetic state is. And what I loved about this is that I don't have to do anything. You know, so very often it's about making a conscious choice, and I need to remember to do this. And if I didn't remember to ask to go in the integration pod, then it didn't happen. And so I was talking to my partner, and it was like, his comment was, wow, even 6 months ago, this wouldn't have been available on the planet. To have something that goes in place like that, they're not around. So it was really, for me, a real indication. Like, I've seen little pods like this before when on the Alchemy, they do travel pods. So after a gathering, they put you in these energies while you're traveling home so that you're okay and all of that. So it was the closest thing that I had seen. And then at the Vancouver Island gathering, I think you and I have talked about this before, the Arcturians have healing chambers on planet Earth. There are, I think, 13 of them. And we had opened at 2 events. I'd opened the first 2. And those are all free. And they're on my blog, and I'll tell people about them. And I use those, and you're only allowed 3 minutes once a month. That's how strong they are. But now, when we were at the Vancouver Island gathering, the 3rd one opened up, and it's actually on Vancouver Island. So it was really kind of cool. So now you could do, the first one is in Italy, in northern Italy. So now you could do that one 1 week, because you can only do the once a month for 3 minutes. And then there's one in Mexico, so you can do that one the 2nd week of a month. And the 3rd one is here on Vancouver Island, where I live, North Island, and you could do that one. So in a month, you could go into 3 healing pods, and then the 4th week you have off. And they're free. Sure, people could buy the meditation if they wanted, but I've put it out on the blog that if you prefer, or your budget doesn't allow you to spend $20 or $30 or whatever it is, then and to me, those kinds of, all of this is coming in on time. To me, they're all these gifts for us to help us, and I really I really think it's important, and I know it helps me a lot to be able to utilize them.
Awesome, thank you. And you were talking about the copper pods, and I remember in some of my guided processes this past month, copper was coming in quite a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I wonder what is this that's going on? Why are we keep bringing in the copper energies, right? So it's interesting that you were also talking about these copper pods. So I love that. So do you know what the copper was for specifically?
Well, it's funny because as you're saying that, I'm just getting. So let me just see, because I hadn't asked what it was for. Greetings, beloved ones. We are first light, and we are the collective consciousness that have brought in these copper pods. And we share with you that on an energetic level, that the energies of copper have a flexibility on the energetic levels that allow these pods to be utilized in a way that are individualized for the best use and frequency of each person. So it is this energetic flexibility that allows the structure to adapt to the frequencies most readily. We are first light. Hey, thanks for asking that, because I didn't know. I hadn't thought that. So it's like, I was like, wow, this is copper. This is cool.
Yeah.
Because I use platinum and gold and all kinds of other colors and things, but never the copper before.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too, because it's like, why, it's like, why is copper coming in? And I didn't even ask. It's like, okay, cool, we'll just, we'll just go with it. So, so your sound was cutting out, but okay. I think it's fine now, right, Caroline? Yeah, awesome, good. It was just for a minute. So, Sunny's asking.
And if my sound gets cutting out, because sometimes my internet is slightly spotty, then I'll turn my video off. So my voice is more important.
Yeah, awesome. So Sunny's asking if we could use these copper eggs for ourselves, and can we use them for our homes?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. What they did, which was different, is you create them for yourself. It's about an hour-long meditation, and then at the end, what they said is anyone that has children living in their home that are 16 years old or younger, they can also would be created for the children at the same time. Okay. So that, and they've never done anything like that before. And then if you, for your partner or anyone else in the house 16 or older, then you would need to purchase that again at $22 for them, because it's a commitment on an energetic level, also for paying for it, but also for choosing to have it, rather than it's just another gift out there. So, but they don't do them for your homes. They're really for people. Okay. So it's great. So you can set them up with your kids, and after 25, and if you're doing them, what I would say, one of the things I found out is that, if your kids are 10 or older, you should probably be asking them, because they're conscious little beings, and most of them would know. And if you do it after the 1st of January, it'll still work. But they brought it in, and they always bring them in. They told me, I said, well, why are they coming in November? And they said, well, it gives your physical body a month to adjust, and we didn't know how much work it would take to prepare them for your physical bodies, and then they'll activate. I've got it on my calendar for right after midnight on New Year's Eve to just call for the activation of them.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And so that, that meditation is part of the package.
It is.
Yeah, so it is part of the package that we have on offer as well.
Yeah, and then in October, what they did, and again, this is in the package, and I put them all in there because we were talking about all of these, and I never know what's going to happen in the full moons, and that's why I love them so much. And they're always about things for personals. Is they did this lovely meditation, and then at the end, they decided to do upgrades for 8 weeks to all our main chakras plus the soul star chakra. And I'm like, wow. So here again, it's really about helping everyone change, helping everyone have the latest and greatest, so to speak, energetics. And I just saw a question. Someone said, can we do the copper pods for our pets? Our pets don't need them. You know, they are, our pets don't have the energetic distortions that we do. You know, they don't have the belief systems. They're really, I would say, you know, pets and crystals and plants, and they're more pure source. They're pure energy. So they don't need them. So
awesome. Thank you. And you know, now that I have a pet, I'm probably going to be asking more questions about, can I do this with my pet? And, you know, this for everything is going to be, you know, yeah, but thank you, Christy, for asking, because I would have asked the same thing now. You know, it's like, you know, does Neo need it?
Yeah. And what happens too is, like, I find with my dogs that every time I get upgraded, they get more sensitive and they get upgraded. So, you know, that kind of just happens along the way, but they don't need the same energetic, what we would call protection or filters the way we do.
Right.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So those two tools are actually part of the package. If people, you know, are interested in the 8-week, 8-week what? Upgrade.
Upgrades of chakras. So you do one a week.
Yeah.
You do one a week. Whenever you start, you start with the heart chakra, and then we list them. And then I think it goes soul, star, and then all the way down.
Awesome.
So it was really cute. I got a call from a friend the other day, and they're like, I don't know what went wrong with the meditation, but I felt all this stuff in my sacral, and I don't know that it's supposed to. And I laughed, and I said, well, you realize that was the chakra upgrade this week. She goes, oh, okay. So it was kind of funny. I'm like, so you felt it where you should have. It was all good.
Yeah, awesome. And you know, and that's the thing. Sometimes, especially around this time, we tend to forget, you know, or we don't have as much time to take care of ourselves, nurture ourselves, including balancing and upgrading and aligning our chakras to see what, you know, what's going on, because we're busy with everything else, right? But but if we do take the time, you know, we will have a easier time during the holidays as well, won't we?
Oh, yeah. Well, and you know, with the holidays, and I know it's a time of joy, but it's also a high stress for a lot of people. A couple of things that again, simple reminders, is that if you're having an event at your house, whether you're having Christmas dinner or people for New Year's or just visitors like many of us do in our homes, after everybody leaves, call on Saint Germain and Lady Portia and blaze the violet flame. Clear the energy in your house. And I don't think a lot of us think to do that. We've had company and it's been a nice event, but clear the energies, because a lot of us have people in our homes who aren't vibrating where we are. They're not they don't have either the same belief systems or the same energetics. So just keep your house energetically clean. And it's the same thing. If you're going out to an event where there's a lot of people, whether you're going out shopping or you're going to a Christmas party or a holiday party or, you know, something for New Year's, and there's going to be all kinds of different people, you know, you can always place yourself in a Metatron cube. And a Metatron cube, you just call on Archangel Metatron, and it's this energetic cube that goes around you that nothing comes in, as long as you keep your vibration up on the inside. Like, your open heart is what keeps it in place. The minute your vibration drops, the cube dissolves. But it just keeps you in these energetic spaces where you're not, your energy doesn't have to drop because of people around you. And that can be hard over the holidays where you're dealing with high stress and all kinds of things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, for all of us too, it is about paying attention to keeping our vibration higher, and not just during the holidays, but all the time. And, you know, it's like, are you aware of what, you know, you are vibrating at right now, right?
Yeah.
And but we tend to forget more around this time. You know, so like you were mentioning the violet flame, and I use the violet flame every day in the morning. That's one of my rituals or things that I do every morning, is the violet flame, right? And you know, you can do it in the morning, you can do it at night, you can whenever, right? But just the point is to do it, just to remember to use the tools, right? And that.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Exactly. And they're like the violet flame. It's old. It's been around forever. Wait, I'm gonna.
Maybe
turn my video off.
it's
Okay.
just for a second. Yeah.
There, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll turn my video off because it just popped up and said unstable.
Right.
You know, there's so many cool tools out there, and some we've had, like the violet flame, for a long time. But the violet flame continues to be a really strong tool. It upgrades as the energies upgrade. So it's one, like you, I use it regularly. And one of the things I do is on the door frame of my house, I have placed the violet flame on it. So as people come in the house,
Yeah.
you know, that energy goes around them. Again, it doesn't clear everything, but it's that quick, really helpful thing. You know, and I'm sure, you know, maybe some of the audience have tools they want to tell us about or share, because there's it. But the thing is, it's about using the tools and remembering to use them. And it doesn't mean you have to be stuck in a ritual that you have to do 30 things every day. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Neil,
would
come
really
here.
be crazy. But I like, you know, for me, doing the integration pods and connecting to the light every day and using the violet flame. And then as I bring these meditations in, I'm so grateful to have the tools, no matter who brings them in, that they're there for all of us to use.
I agree, totally. And that's the thing. It's like, like we don't have to use all these tools all the time, but you know, some of them are going to be more relevant right now as we're moving into 2019, to keep our vibration higher so that we can get through 2019 with more ease. Because I've heard it's going to be a heavy duty year.
That would be similar to the word, that's similar to my experience of what it will be. I have heard that it is going to be strong.
Yeah.
And you know, as they said, it always gets stronger, but it's really feels like, and what my guides are implying, it's really a big transformational year. And of course, that also means big shifting on a planetary level and big shifting individually. And if you're not doing your work, like if you've started on your path, like many have, and then you get busy with life and you don't do whatever you're doing anymore, whether you don't meditate or you don't connect to source or you don't bring in the light or you don't use the violet flame or clear, you don't do anything anymore, you're really going to get hit hard with all of this, because you're open to the energies and then the shifts happen and you get stuck. So it's easier to me to do preventative stuff or maintenance stuff than it is to have to do a big, oh my God, what have I done? I got to clear all this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd rather do. Sorry?
Did you lose your puppy?
No, he was doing something bad, so I told him no, and then so my husband just took him now into the other room. But yeah, you know, and it's about, you know, the maintenance for sure and the preventative for sure, but it's not just about that. It's about you being aware of what's important for you, what's relevant for you. And as we're all stepping up and into more of showing up and being ourselves, our authentic selves, and sharing our gifts with the world, that is going to be really necessary. I think I don't think anybody who is on the path now can afford to just be lackluster about it. I think you have to be committed.
I agree. And I think that's, you know, Alara, I would say to you and all the listeners that is becoming more and more critical. The more we grow, the higher vibration, the more responsibility we have for keeping ourselves aligned. And, you know, something I was taught years ago that still applies to me, that I find important, is that mastery isn't about reaching a certain level, which a lot of people think it is. Mastery for me is being able to recognize that I'm out of alignment, that I'm either triggered or I'm not aligned with source and my higher self. And mastery is really how quickly I can return to my alignment. No matter where I am on the vibrational scale, the sooner I can do that, to me, that's what mastery is about. We're all human. We're going to get triggered. We're going to have things that irritate us, and we're going to that's part of the human experience. But recognizing when you're out of alignment, I think is a real big thing, and then being able to use the tools and other tools
Mhm.
to get back into alignment.
Absolutely. And, so alignment really, what that means for me is about being aware. Are you aware? Are you present? Do you know what you're thinking? Do you know what you're feeling? Do you know what you're vibrating? Right. And
Yeah.
being aware of that. And when you're not, then doing something different to get back to, get back to, your core, your essence, your soul, and to raise your vibration to that, something that you'd like. Right. And a lot of times, let's face it, I've said this over again, many times, but 2018 was a really tough year for me. I had a really tough time. And, part of it. And,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have another, tough time next year, but it's like, if I'm staying in using the tools, being present, being aware, and not getting caught up in the story or in the drama or in, any of that kind of stuff, and just using the tools, continuing to use the tools, then it'll be better. I'll be better. Everybody else around me will be better.
Yeah. Well, and I would have to say to you that for me, 2018 has also been one of my toughest years in a long time. It was really challenging at times, and
Mhm.
probably some of my most difficult things I had to face. I was looking at my deepest wounds
Mhm.
were coming up. But I would also say, as we're almost at the end of it, it has also been one of my best years because I've had several significant shifts this year because I have cleared some of this big stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
I
so
agree.
yeah, so is it the road you would choose if you knew what you were walking into? Hell no. But as you get to the other side, you're like, oh my God, I'm so grateful I'm here because
Exactly.
it changes everything. It changes.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, as difficult as May and June especially were, coming on the other side of it, it's like, oh my goodness, and then looking at the whole year, generally, it's like, oh my God, what an amazing, amazing year I had, and that was just a little blip, but that blip was such a blessing because it gave me so much more,
Yeah.
so much more.
I,
So yeah,
I know
and
what you mean. It's like I came kicking and screaming for parts of it, but
yeah.
now I'm on the other side, and it's amazing,
And so,
amazing.
like one of the tools that I started, not started, but I brought to my community was, my gratitude challenge, which is a free 21-day program. And, it's important. Gratitude is important. And sometimes we forget. And especially in those tough times when things may not be going the way we want, being in that state of gratitude is going to help to keep you a little bit above water, if anything
Yeah.
else, right? If you don't do anything else, at least that will keep you a little bit above water. But there's so many tools like meditation, guided processes. For me, using my essential oils and crystals and just connecting with spirit.
Yep. Oh, the connection every day. And I'm a big fan of gratitude. I do a gratitude journal every day. Every single day. I never miss it. I think that's really, and for me, the connecting to the light every day, even
Hmm.
if you don't have time to meditate. And
Hmm.
I don't meditate as much anymore. I channel all the time
Yeah.
between my clients and the alchemy and everything I'm doing. I'm channeling all the time, and I have a constant conversation with my guides. But to sit down and meditate, not as much anymore because it's this ongoing. But I connect to the light every day, at least once a day, often more than that, and
Hmm.
bring the light in and just feel that place of peace, which is amazing.
And
Amazing.
I love that you say that because so many people cannot meditate or they think they cannot meditate, right? So even if you're just connecting within, connecting to spirit, connecting to the light, connecting to your guides, even for a few minutes every day, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how I would have ever survived without my guides. And I'm one, probably like you, Alara, that I listen to my guides. No matter how, off the wall it might seem, I always listen to my guides, big or small. And I know that that helps me move forward tremendously.
Hmm.
I know, and, I look back now on some of the things they've asked me to do, and I can see now where it led me to. And
Yeah.
if I hadn't have done A, it wouldn't have B, C, and D wouldn't have happened. And, and you kind of go, okay, You know, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's as simple as taking a different route when I'm driving, and I just trust. I don't question it anymore. I just go, you know, and other times it's really big things. Yesterday they told me I was sending out my newsletter, and in July 2017, I I have done a series of sessions called Messages from the Enlightened Ones. And when I left my corporate job almost 4.5 years ago, my guide showed up at my room, my house filled with angels and light beings. And because I said, okay, I've quit my corporate job. How do I survive now? I have a mortgage, I have dogs. What am I going to do? And all these beings of light showed up to offer, and I did these programs called Messages from the Enlightened Ones, and they were 12 series of 12 live channeled the latest information and processes. So I did session 5 was in 2017, and I did one of them. It was, I think, number 10, and they said, you cannot release this. I'm like, what? Because they're always released and available. And they said, oh, no, 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 it's not. And but we'll let you know when. And yesterday, as I was getting my newsletter ready, they said, okay, we want it released today, and we'd like you to gift it to the world. So this will be the gift that goes out for your listeners as well. And it's on my Facebook page, and I will get it on my blog. I don't have it on, but it's anyone that follows my newsletters on sparklesoflove.love will get it. And I've put it on the Alchemy Facebook page. And it is amazing. I mean, it's the kind of thing that you could charge hundreds for, which doesn't matter. But it's so significant for the planet. And First Light came through, and basically they talk in the beginning about when we came through this life cycle, when duality began, that there was a piece of us that was sort of turned down or turned off or closed. That was how we receive source energy. And of course, we always receive source energy. We're always connected to source. It's always flowing through us. But it was like when we moved into duality, we were not able to receive as much. And so this meditation opens up that portal or that space within us directly to receive source energy directly into our hearts. So I've put that out as a gift to the world. I hope that people share it far and wide, so as many people across planet Earth can do that for themselves.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. And I'll share it with, you know, and in the email that goes out with the replay, you know, I will share the link in there as well.
Okay, yeah, and I'll get that to you. But it was just, you know, so I look at all this and I go, wow. And so now's the time. You know, again, we're talking about the energies of 2019, and it's like so much has shifted in this year and a half that people are able to receive this now.
Awesome. Awesome. And, you know, we're going to need all the support and all the help and all the connection with source and spirit that we can get and use and allow into our being, so that we can be more of who we truly are, so that we can be our authentic selves and share our gifts and just be have more ease and joy, you know, in our lives. I think that's what we're here for, right? To have ease and joy and live our lives to the fullest, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things that for me, when, you know, we talk about how I work with my guides and living your life to the fullest, one of the things that I did this year, and is 2 years, actually 2 years ago around right now, because it was sort of the beginning of December, I had this situation come up where I was dealing with some real big challenges. And my guide sat me down when I was in Florida, and they said, and they gave me updated information on the creation story. And I think you and I have talked a little bit about that before, and it's on my blog. And they basically updated the story of what we would call Adam and Eve. And they refer to that as this life cycle on planet Earth. And then about a month later, they came through and they said, and in it, just the short version is that Adam and Eve were not the only pair, that 12 pairs of twin flames came in at that time of creation, and the fall was not sort of eating the apple. It was a fall from the 5th dimensional vibration to the 3rd dimensional vibration. And as these souls came in, they split into divine masculine and feminine. So there were 12 twin flames. And then they talked about how they brought in the 33 codes of origin. And so this year, in January this year, they tapped me on the shoulder, my guides again, when I was at the beach. They like getting me at the beach, and said, okay, we want you to run this as a program, a course. And I'm like, okay. And they said, no, this year. I'm like, okay. And they said, no, it has to start and finish this year. And I'm like, what? Because this was January, and it's 33 weeks long. And so we just finished last week, or 2 weeks ago. And it has also been one of those things where it really helps people move into who they are, because it's all these qualities that have been distorted, that over all our lifespans have been so distorted, things like, and so it's been amazing to watch people come back into themselves. And all of this has been anchored into the unity grids on planet Earth, and into the collective consciousness. So all of these are things that are opportunities for all of us to live better lives in 2019 and 2020 and onward.
Beautiful. I love that. And so is that going to be available for people?
Yeah, it will be done again live starting in February this year. And the format we're doing this year is just slightly different. I'm doing 7 days of an activation once a day, and then people have 7 weeks of integration where they work on one code and I infuse it every day. And then we do the next group. And it's just been astounding. Absolutely astounding. So yeah, so it'll be fun to do it again and see how strong the energy is, because the first one was just amazing.
And that's the thing, as we're moving into 2019 and 2020, the energies are going to be stronger and stronger. And at the same time, it's like we're not going to be able to hide from our shadow aspects, I guess you could say. Right? And go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree completely with you. Like, as these energies come forward, these really strong energies, and as we move to the higher and higher frequencies as a planet, as a people, as individuals, you don't have an option. You've got to look at your shadow or your stuff or your wounds, whatever label you have for it. Got to do it, or you are going to be so slammed in the face, and slammed hard. And the more you can work on yourself in whatever way you do with it, in whatever processes you use that work for you, whatever that is, just keep doing it. And every time that something comes up, to me, when I'm triggered, it's a gift. I mean, after the initial 3 or 4 minutes of then I go, okay, yeah, this is a gift, because now I can see there's something that I'm blocking. There's something that I'm not in resonance with.
Absolutely. And we're not saying this to scare anybody, absolutely not. We're just, it's something to be aware of. Something to be aware of, so you're not caught off guard, right?
Yeah. And whether you've been on your path for many years or you're just starting out, it's really the same thing. There's so many tools for you to use, and there's just so much opportunity. It's just such an exciting time to be alive on planet Earth. I think it's the best time to be here. Like, how blessed are we, to be here for this time, for this transition. And my guides continually say, and I'll share with everyone, is that, if you think of this as probably one of the most significant times on planet Earth, other than the beginning, okay, so this is one of the most significant times on planet Earth. There are all these beings of light from across the cosmos here observing and supporting us. And, and who do you think they sent? When you've got a big job, you don't send your rookies, you send your A-team. You send your most experienced. When, think about it in the corporate world or in anything. Do you give a really important job to the newbie or someone who doesn't know what they're doing? No, you give it to your best people.
Right.
And we need to remember that everyone here on planet Earth, no matter what you think of them or how we perceive them, we're the best team. We're here for the transition, and even if you don't remember why you're here, or you haven't woken to your gifts, or you're just starting out,
Mm-hmm.
you're part of the A team. You're
Wow.
here because you're one of the best there is, and your soul stepped up and said, yes, I want to do this, but you were picked. You were picked, and then we volunteered. And you're here because, wow, because you add so much, and because you're amazing, and remember, you're part of the A team. And I think every once in a while when we get lost in our stuff, I think it's really important to remember that.
I totally agree. And I'm so glad you shared that, because I'm going to put this on a loop and put it somewhere where I can hear it over and over again.
Yeah, but think about it. With this time in history, you wouldn't send the guys that couldn't do the good job. You're going to send the best team, the absolute top best team.
Yeah.
And you're going to support them in every way you can.
And so that brings up, so we are all supported, right? All the time. But sometimes we do have to ask for support.
Well, yeah, I agree. So when there's all this energetic support around us, and we have our guides and our angelic beings, and our higher self is our most important connection and source. But there's also this conscious choice thing, and there's also free will. And our guides and our all of that cannot interfere. That's just the way things are set up. So you have to ask for help when you need help, because they can't just, that's the way it's set up. Otherwise nobody would experience anything, right? So you ask for help, and when you ask for it, now the tricky thing is divine timing comes in, and it always feels like, well, heck, I asked for help, but why isn't it coming? Or why does it look like this? I wanted it that way.
Exactly.
You have to really surrender when you ask for help, and know that it comes in not always the package you want it to.
Yep. You
but
have to surrender. You have to let go.
You have to surrender, and you have to let it go. So there is all this support, and then there's this, like the tools we talked about. All of that is support, but you have to say yes to using them, and you have to utilize them. So it's like, the analogy, there's that joke out there about the man who prays to God, I want to win the lottery, and God says you'll win the lottery, and the man next week goes, well, I didn't win the lottery, and God says you'll win the lottery, and this goes on for weeks, and finally God says, well, you got to buy a ticket. And to me, our spiritual journey is the same. You've got to take your own responsibility. You have to take action. It's not enough to sit at home. It's the same thing when people say to me, oh, I want to meet my twin flame. I want to meet someone. Yeah, but you never go outside your house. You don't do anything. It's one thing to set the intention, but some action with it.
Exactly. I'm all about that. Yes, absolutely. You have to have the intention, you have to have the desire, and you have to actually take action. So without that, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that's what people forget. A lot of people think that if they set their intentions and they pray hard enough, or they, visualize hard enough, it'll all come. Well, those are parts, but my goodness, there's an action. That's,
Exactly. And a lot of people are paralyzed at that point, because they get stuck in their head and about what is the right action. And I will say, there's no right action. Take any action. It will take you to the next step. It'll take you to the next step and the next step, but take some action. There's no right or wrong. Just do something.
Well, and when you take action, I think one of the things that I find is another helpful, I'll call it a tool, but it's not, is following coincidences and following the energy. Because when you take action, then all of a sudden other doors open up, and it's like there's these little seeds that or breadcrumbs that can lead you along the path if you just start to follow the energy. What's the easiest? Where does this take you? If you did this, all of a sudden other things open up. And so often we struggle and think it has to be only this way and this door, when all these other possibilities are there for us.
And sometimes people want to see the whole path laid out in front of them. And that's not possible, because the path changes depending on the steps you take, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's just it's just a little reminder for everyone. So now I know that we're going to do a process, and we're going to take some, so some questions from people as well. So did you want to do the process first, or?
I think we do the process last.
Okay, awesome.
Because then we can, and because if we do the questions and people are more in their minds, and then I'm happy to share about the special offer, and then we can go into whatever process we're going to do. And I don't know which one we're going to do or what we're going to do. I'm just going to be open to surrendering to whoever wants to come through, if that's okay.
Exactly. Absolutely. I totally agree. I'm like that too. It's like, I don't know what we're doing today, but we're going to do something. So something's going to come through. All right. So if somebody has a question, you can either write it in the chat. You can raise your hand. If you're brave, you can, just unmute yourself and ask away, whatever you like. So what kind of questions can people ask? Oh, I think we have Larry has unmuted himself. Larry, have you unmuted yourself?
Not intentionally.
Okay.
Well, that's honest.
Yeah. All right, no worries. Well, if you had a question, Larry, you can go ahead and ask.
Come back to me and let me think about it for a moment or two.
Awesome. Thank you. So I will mute you in the meantime.
I mean, my guides are usually pretty much open. They won't give us the lottery numbers. They won't tell you your divine purpose, because that's for you to find. They'll answer some questions, and there's the odd time when they'll say no, that answering that is not for the highest good. So, because people will sometimes say, well, what about this, or what's happening with this? And they'll say, if we answer that, it now limits all the possibilities. So sometimes they won't answer. So, if you have a personal question, if you have a general question, we're open. And usually if someone has a personal question, it ends up applying to more than one person.
Yeah, for sure. So phone number ending in 391 has raised their hand. So I'm going to unmute you. Hello. You can go ahead and talk. Phone number ending in 391. Hello? Maybe you have to unmute yourself. I'm not sure, but I did unmute you. Okay, so in the meantime, hello? Hi, did you have a question for Ana La Rai?
I do. It's Larry again.
Oh, hi, Larry. Oh. Okay, so what's your question?
My question is, I was just checking in this morning about focusing for the rest of December, and it's really about getting my house in order and really focusing more on my multidimensional self and living that way. And I just wanted to just get a confirmation if anything else is coming through. And I'm also part of your Alchemy Collective tribe.
Yes, I recognize your name. So, well, thank you for joining us on the Alchemy all the time. It's so lovely to have you, and everyone's welcome to join us on Tuesdays for the free calls. And we work on raising the vibrations for the planet. So let me just look at that. So what I'm getting, getting your house in order, it's interesting because I'm getting for myself and a lot of others that it's a big time for decluttering on the energetic and on physical levels. So I'm leaving next week as I'm off to vacation, and there's just this real push that my guides are having that I want to leave my house. Like, I want to get rid of things I don't use anymore. What's old energy? What would be better? What is better to donate to our local Salvation Army or to a place that can help other people that's in great condition? What do I no longer need? What is old energy? So the decluttering is really strong, and I'm getting that really strong for you too. Energetically, it's like, okay, and even there's this piece of they're telling me for everyone to declutter your Facebook friends. Okay, which sounds kind of, like so many of us have people on our Facebook that we don't know, or that post things that we don't resonate with anymore. And, there's this process of maybe letting some of all of that go. And again, that's part of an energetic. And let me just see here, what else? And the multidimensional self, what they're sharing with me is to focus on that, but while staying grounded in earth and keeping your heart really open. And the other thing they'd like you to do, Larry, is to really, if you can, oh, they have a little, okay, so the Alchemy has a little task for you if you would like. And they would just kind of like you to do from, what are we, today's the 11th, so what are there, about 21 more days left in the year, something like that, 20 days left in the year, is to try and go out and do some little kindness each day. Just, the random act of kindness and again, you're working on yourself, you're decluttering, but that's also putting the energy out in the world.
Beautiful.
Okay, and I'll see you on the call tonight then, the Alchemy call. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Larry. Good question. Great answers. So I have a question from Sunny, and Sunny's saying, my question is, how do I step into my path after years of hiding and fear? I'm feeling ready now, but I have no idea where to go and do, etc.
Okay. Well, the first thing, you're already doing it is because you're coming on a show like this show and you're asking the question. So what I would say, Sunny, is to start with some of these tools we've talked about by connecting to the light every day, to doing a gratitude journal, to calling forth on your guides, and to, if you want to join the Alchemy calls, they're all free. Again, you're doing some divine service then. If you and like we said to Larry, if you can go out and just do little kindnesses, again, even all of those simple things bring you right back into your path because you're connecting and you're surrendering. So I think if you even start simple with all of those things, it's a great way to move back into your path. Laura, what would you add for her?
Oh no, that's great. And just, especially about the connecting and also asking, you're really going within and asking, if you could do anything, what would that be? Without any restrictions, without any limitations, without anything, what would that be? Just do a little brainstorming, because sometimes we just get it in our heads of, I can only do this, or I don't know what to do because I have no idea, right? And so we're looking at the outcome or the end result instead of where to start, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question from, I think it's Michelle Carlini, okay. And she's saying, I think it's Michelle, I'm having trouble connecting to my guides. Do you have any ideas why I am blocked?
Okay, so let me just scan you here. So you have a subconscious belief from another lifetime that is originated in another lifetime. Wow, where you were energetically manipulated. So you had another lifetime where you thought you were connecting with guides and higher beings, but it was not the vibration you thought, and you were manipulated. So so there is this, on a subconscious level, there is this distrust that is blocking you. And my sense is, I don't know if this is, there's probably a fair bit of distrust in your life, and I don't know if that's correct for you or not, if it shows up that way, but it feels like that energy around you quite a bit. You might call it cautious, but the underlying is really more distrust.
Mm-hmm. And I have some questions from Julie. So Julie, did you want to come on, Julie, if you're here? Or do you want to just type it in? We'll find out in a second.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Hi, Julie.
Okay. Hi. Sorry. Yeah. I'm asking kind of almost the same question. You said you quit your job and you didn't know what to do because you had a house to pay for and all this. My income that I've had for years is ending. February 2019 is my last amount. And I have been trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I've been asking my guides over and over again. And I've been working on myself this whole 5 years, 6 years, and I am still not knowing exactly what to do. I have taken steps, I have done things, I have gotten certified in things, but nothing has come
Coming
to
together.
fruition.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm just not, I don't know what's wrong, or my guide's not
okay.
listening
So
to
a
me.
couple of, I'm getting 2 or 3 things come up for you, Julie. So just 1 second here.
And I have 2 kids to support too, so I, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I can't just run and
So
hide. And
one of the things is that our purpose, or what we're here for, always comes, and this is the same thing with business, is always best when it comes from our passion. So if you look at something that you really love, that you do well, that you love, then it's an easier transition. Okay, so whatever, so just to start there. The other piece is what's coming up, and this is one of the really challenging things I think that many people experience, myself included, is that when we get worried about money or finances, okay, and I can feel that in you, and of course when you know that your income is ending, when you worry about it, it creates energetic blocks because we go into lack, right? So all our worries, all our thoughts all the time are about, okay, I won't be able to afford that then. How am I going to do this? And so what happens is we move into this space of real lack. And then what we attract is more lack. So it's really hard to move forward. And when we can really surrender it and not worry about it, which is almost impossible to do because we're in lack, all of a sudden it opens up and starts to flow. And I've actually seen that happen with myself, and I was astounded because I've heard people talk about it before, and I was actually astounded when it happened. But the minute I start worrying about, okay, I wonder if there'll be enough for this, or how many are that, or then all of a sudden everything constricts. Okay, so the more that you can trust and surrender, and every day, like when you get up and when you go to bed, and if you want to, start saying, when you can move into the state of surrender, and I mean real deep surrender, not the lip service surrender, it really will help things shift. So when I go to surrender, I say it out loud 3 times, I surrender, but it's with my full, usually by the time I've said it the 3rd or 4th time, I'm in tears because I really am. It's not I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. That's all mental. When I'm surrendering, I'm really and truly surrendering from my heart. And I'm, like I say, it's so emotional for me. And what I have found is that every time I can really surrender with all my beingness, within several days, things shift for me. And it's like something comes forth. And the other thing that I'm getting is that for you, Julie, is you have, I see around you, you've placed a structure energetically around you of you want it to be like this, this, or this. And it's like you need to release that and let the money flow and let what's going to happen be whatever it is. It might be something you're not even aware of, or it might come in another way. So the example I would use to you is, it's like when people say, I want to win the lottery. Okay, well, that's fine and dandy. It's not going to happen to many. You've now limited all the other possibilities of how prosperity could come to you, right? Maybe you could get a raise. Maybe you could, a second job would come. Maybe you'd get an inheritance. Maybe you'd have a great idea and something would happen and you'd be like the 7-year-old on YouTube making 22 million a year. So when we say, I only want it to be this way, whatever it is, we truly, truly, truly limit ourselves. And there's one other piece of information here for you. Just 1 sec. So what I'm getting on an energetic level is the biggest thing that's happening is your fear is blocking you, hon. And I know that's the hardest piece to release, but your fear is really preventing you from moving forward. Okay, so if you can do the deep, deep surrender, your guides are there, but there's so much fear around you with this, it's like you can't even hear the messages or you can't see the signs. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, yeah, all the best to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
You're
Julie.
very welcome.
Thank you, Julie. And I'm sure that applies to other people as well. So thank you.
Well, yeah, and it's, I do know it's a hard place to be.
Yeah.
And I'll just give a little tiny example if I can, Alara, because, when I started my business, as I've told you, I left my big corporate job where it was lots of benefits and a good pay, and I live alone, and it was like, oh my God, I had planned for it so I could do 3 months financially. I'd planned, and then my mom died, and I spent all this time helping my brother and sister with the closing and selling the house and all of that. And I got up one day, like 6 months later, and went, oh my God, what am I going to do? And how am I going to do this with all these financial worries? And about a year and a half in, one day, and I was, maybe it was last year, my business was growing, and I get paid through PayPal. So I went into, and my guides tell me every so often, they'll tap me and say, okay, move your money out of PayPal. So I just do it when they tell me, or when it hits a certain amount. I don't want to leave it in there. So they tapped me, and I went in, and it wasn't a big amount. It was, a couple $1,000s, and so I moved the money, and that was fine, and blah, blah, blah. And then the next day I had to be in there for something. I had to pay something, and I thought, oh my God, I guess I didn't do it right. And I moved it, and then 2 days later, something came up, and I had to go into my PayPal account and make some sort of adjustment. And I thought, gosh, there's something going on. And I moved the money again. And then I looked at my bank account and realized I hadn't been thinking about money because I'd been too busy with all the things going on and the energy I was doing. And there was no mistake with PayPal. It just kept filling up. I'd empty it and it would fill up. I'd empty it and it would fill up. And because I had been completely not looking at it and wasn't concerned about it, all this money started flowing. And I just feel that when I worry about things, I feel the constriction in my energy field and in the flow.
Right.
But again, when you're in fear, that you're in the constriction all the time.
For sure. Absolutely. Yep. And so what's the best way to get out of fear?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think there's a few things. I think bringing in the light every day really helps. But I think that most of us have deep, deep fears. And our challenge is that most of us, if you have a fear, a lot of the time it's easier to clear it. But a lot of our fears run on the subconscious level, and so we're not aware of it. So, what I used to do is I would go to other healers and people that do subconscious belief patterns. And I have done a lot of that throughout my career, where I go to other people for help because I can't always see my own stuff. So
I do the same.
I would say find someone you trust that's vibrating at a higher frequency that can help you clear some of that. Because I know when I work with clients, I can go in and I can see all of this and help them clear it. Sometimes it's, and I don't mean this to discourage anyone, sometimes it's hard to do on your own. But the more you can bring the light into the fear and then look at what's behind it, the better it is for you.
Absolutely.
And the minute you feel the fear, you don't want to push it away. So that's the other thing, is that people push the fear away. Is bring it into your body, experience it, observe it, love it, and bring the light into it, and then let it go. Because the pushing away makes it stronger. So the more, and sometimes what happens with the fear is if you go to worst case scenario, oh my God, if this happened, and take it as far bad as you can. And most of the time, not always, but most of the time, we can cope with that. But it's the unknown piece of it. So when you look at all the potentials of, okay, in worst case scenario, what would I do if this happened? And then you can look at possibilities and solutions, then your brain settles down.
True. I remember I did that once, and the worst case scenario, right? And when I did that, I came to worst case. If I lost everything, what would I do? I would go live with my parents. It's like, it's not that bad, right? And I'm like, live with my parents. She would do my laundry. She would do my cooking. She would take care of me. That's not so bad. not so bad.
But what it does is it takes the fear away, because often it's the fear and it's the unknown piece that's way harder for us than what the reality is, right? Yeah. And that place of indecision is much more difficult for us.
Yeah, awesome. Eagle Song Woman, did you have a question?
Hi, can you hear me, or do I need to speak louder?
No, hear you perfectly.
Yay!
Hello.
Sometimes my voice comes in quite loud, so I thought I'd check because I have new camera and everything. Hi, Ana La Rai. Thank you.
Hello.
I joined your newsletter and your other stuff.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yes. I think everything. I don't think I have a question
anymore because you were unmuted before, right?
Yeah. The more I hear, the more I know that I'm doing everything correctly, connecting everything you're saying. I do daily. So I saw a quote. What came to mind when you were speaking last is I saw a quote a few days ago. And I'm open to my gifts, have been for a long time. And I give sessions myself. So, but the quote was, it's something along this line. So you might have heard it before. It's something about you must let go of the life you had planned in order for the life that is planned for you to come in, or something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I read that a few days ago. My manager had sent it on a daily thing, and it just flowed all through my body. And my message was that my horse dreams, the horse farm, playing with horses and all that, might have just been while it was happening. For the 18 years I had my horse, that was the journey of healing with horses. And now that he's passed, because his message was always, it's time for you to embody in your body on your own and take the reins for yourself. And so the more I ask, how may I serve here, the more clients I get. So not a dilemma, but the only place is I don't have enough time. So,
isn't that a nice thing
I
to
know,
not have enough time?
Right? Yeah. So I'm at work, I'm at work for all those
2.5 more years.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that quote, because I've had a situation this year in my life where I really had my heart and mind and body set on something being a certain way. I won't get into what it was because it isn't important. And I was determined that I would push my way through it, and I could, I'm strong-willed enough that I could make it happen. And resistance. And it caused so much turmoil and struggle within me. And finally, when I hit the surrender button, when I decided that's it, I'm done. I just can't do this anymore. And I really let it all go. And I was really ready to let it all completely be gone. Everything shifted. And it is better than I could have ever imagined. And I don't think that I would have even seen it this way. So I've really learned that when I let go of what I think things should be or how I believe it should be, that source and my guides and my higher self create it beyond my own expectations. And I think that I know that happens for all of us when we can let go of what we think it should be and just say, I would like this or better. And I'm so thrilled that you're busy and that more is coming forth for you, and that I can feel how you touch hearts. It's really quite lovely. So I can really feel that, and your guides are really happy to continue with you on that journey.
Thank you. And I agree with the full surrender. Just thinking about it, it just brings tears, because the more I surrender, and I've surrendered, it feels like getting on my knees and just truly surrendering. So thank you for today. So many beautiful messages. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Awesome. Thank you, Caroline. And I love the change in you. Like, I just love it. I love that you're being of service and just asking, how can I serve? You know, that is something
Yeah.
that I ask every day in my meditation. How can I serve? Show me the way.
Yeah. I
Right?
also say every day, Spirit, use me. Spirit, surprise me. Spirit, show me. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ooh, spirit surprised me. I've never said that. One's awesome too.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And thank you, Alara, for all the years you've been here, loving me. I love you.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
You know, if I could just jump in and add one thing, you know, I think that one of the things that makes it easier here on life, down here on planet Earth, and I think is really important, is when you can retain or have that sense of awe and wonder, like that child, like, oh, and you know, when you say Spirit surprised me, I'm surprised. I don't ask for it probably because I'm surprised all the time. With every meditation that comes through and every full moon and everything my guides, I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I'm sure people laugh at me, but it's so real because I'm always like, wow, look, isn't that cool? And I, you know, like, even when, you know, Alara emailed me and said, you know, do you want to do the show again? I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. And I just,
So much
I
fun.
really do feel that way, but that awe and wonder and that joy are just, anybody can have it.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not the joy yet, go with just the awe and that your eyes open and put your rose-colored glasses on and see life differently for a day.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So I think Shama has a question.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, Shama. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm at work and I was playing around here, but I didn't know what to tap because I couldn't see anything. I'm on my phone, but anyway, ladies, I just wanted to say some of what Aunt Ray was saying was very true. The energy, the decluttering. I think I'm going through a lot of releasing right now, and I'm not sure. I find myself being very floaty and everything, so I'm just wondering, grounding. Um, I've been doing a lot of outside, going on theirs.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm
that's
not sure, I'm not sure what's in store for me, but I'm really rolling with the punches. I'm not afraid of what's coming up. I'm really finding my voice, finding my courage, you know?
Awesome.
beautiful. I'm
So,
getting to share with you one thing. If you're finding yourself really floaty, going outside and grounding is great. But your guides are telling me, do you like crystals?
I do, but I don't know much about them. Like, you know, I don't know how best to
Yeah.
use
So,
them.
well, one of the really grounding stones is hematite, and you can sometimes
Hematite.
get strands of hematite beads that you can wear as a necklace or a
Mm-hmm.
hematite bracelet, or even get
Yeah.
a piece of hematite and carry it in your pocket or in your bra.
Yeah, I do have hematite around because I thought it was, you know, supposed to
Yeah.
help the liver and all of that. Okay, so that's good.
And you might find if you go into a crystal store, if there's one near you, and the thing is, it's harder to do online, but go into a crystal store and just pick up different stones, because the stones are all changing in terms of what used to be grounding or used to be for this or used to be for that are all changing because they're all evolving like we are. And just pick them up, and which one, when you hold it, do you feel yourself go whoop and feel that grounding energy? So it could be something totally different than what the stones say, but just that's a fun day to spend it, or a fun few hours in a or anyway. So
Absolutely.
And money.
well, yeah, but you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. You can usually get a small
Yeah, no,
piece for.
I've seen some little ones, but then when I get them, how do I prepare them? How do I use them besides just holding them? Are they all cleansed per se, or?
Well, I mean, anytime you buy a new stone, I would always cleanse it. So you can cleanse it with your breath. You can do it in meditation. You can put it out in the earth. You can do it in the full moon. You can put it in the ocean. You know, you can cleanse them all different ways.
Okay,
There's all
just making, as long as the intention to cleanse is there, right? Because we could do that without thinking about it, you know?
Well, I would no. So here's one of the things that we talked about earlier, conscious choice. I would always choose to cleanse my stones. I would do it consciously, because you don't know what's in it. So I consciously choose to clear my stones, and then you can set an
Right.
intention for it. But if you're asking for grounding, then I would carry it with me or wear it, and just, you know, when I need to be grounded, I pick it up and just feel it and let it help me. And then every crystal is different, you know, and you can Google all kinds of things. There's many websites that have lots of information about crystals, or even if you're going into a metaphysical store, they'll tell you there.
They can tell you, absolutely.
Yeah. I think I'll do that now that I sort of have an idea how to
Awesome.
go with that. One other thing I was got, is there any does my guide see anything at all that I'm not aware of that I should put some focus on?
Okay, just one second. Yeah, I'm just.
You there?
Yeah, I am. I'm just
Oh,
scanning you. So,
sorry.
but I'm
I lost
so
my
just
earpiece.
one
So
sec.
thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you what comes up, and I never say anything to offend anybody. So that's my preamble. I'm getting that you have some prejudices in your energy field, and sometimes you might be hold judgments readily, and I don't know. I'm not seeing where these are, but there's some of those energies are coming up. So just ask to be aware of where they are, so that you stay non-judgmental and stay yeah, because because there's some of your belief systems around either cultures or how people do things that are limiting you now.
I see.
Okay.
All right.
And we all have them, so you know, it's about learning what they are and letting them go. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Wonderful. It's good. I mean, there's so much I'm doing. You know, I come from a third world country to Canada, and I believe I've come a long ways, and all my family are living in the States. I'm the only one here. I've lived without my family since 1975.
Oh, well, I'm Canadian, and it's a great place to live, and I know Laura's Canadian too. So
I'm Canadian. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I own that prejudice. I'm proud to be Canadian, and I own
I'm so proud to be Canadian, even though I'm not there. But yes.
Yeah. Well, I like your house. I like Vienna.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, me too. I'm only here with my husband. Otherwise, you know, I was.
Well, I could move with him somewhere else too, as well. You know, I always say Earth is our home. I mean, we shouldn't have the constriction of having to move about. You know?
Exactly.
But I think the golden rule has just gone out of the window, and so it doesn't really help a lot of people to understand, you know, how to live well. Well, Sandra, I thank you so much for that information.
You are very welcome, Shama.
Oh, wonderful.
Probably we should go to meditate a little process.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So I think Joy just has a quick question. She's been unmuted for a while. Joy?
Go ahead, Joy.
Hello.
Hi, Joy.
Hi, Ana La Rai. My question is something like that. I'm working on raising my vibration and try to do it consistently. Can you read or can you see what interferes? Because I seem can't hold it or be aware of it.
Yeah, okay. So let me just scan you for a second here. Okay. Yeah, I can see. So you have an entity attached to you. So let's just clear that, okay? So you have, so entities are beings that are not of the light that feed on our energies that we've allowed over different times and spaces. Most of us have had them at one time or another or continue to have them. And and when they are drawn to us when our vibration drops. So let me just clear this for you. So, okay, so just one second. And I'm just going to ask everyone to send Joy love. And in fact, you have a group of actually 7 of them. And they're connected to the back of your heart. Okay, so. Okay, and we're just sending all of them light, and I'm going to disconnect the cord from the back of your heart. And with everyone sending light, it just makes it a little easier. And there's one that's still attached. So I've got 6 of them are gone. So let me just get this last one. Okay, so you have invited this one in at one point in time, whether you were aware of it or not. So I am commanding it leaves, but it is connected because you have said yes to it. So
I say no to it. No.
so I want you to say, I command that you leave now, and I want you to say that 3 times.
I command that you leave now. I command that you leave now.
And say it like you mean it now, really strong.
I command you leave now.
And I want you to say, I command that you leave now and forevermore.
I command you leave now and forevermore.
Okay, again.
I command you leave now and forevermore.
And one more time like you really mean it, because right now you're saying it softly and it doesn't sound like a command at all.
Okay. I command you leave now and forevermore.
Okay.
And forevermore.
Okay. Okay, and I'm just disconnecting all of that. Okay, so I've got my hand at the back of your heart and I'm just filling it with sparkles of light. So you might feel out of sorts these next few days. Whew. Okay, so I want you to just every couple of hours just connect to the light and bring more light in. And I want you to blaze the violet flame. I'm going to blaze the violet flame through your home for the next 48 hours. And if you can, Joy, just light a candle and keep a candle burning, not while you're sleeping, but while you're home. Just keep a candle burning, just so that there's this beautiful light around. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
And then to put on some nice, like, high vibrational music, like some angelic music or Snatum Carr or Deva Pramil or Tom Kenyon or Jonathan Goldman or any of those kind of really high frequencies, okay? How do you feel right now?
Good.
Yeah. So you're going to feel a significant difference, and then start using some of the tools we talked about, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Ana La Rai.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Joy. All right, let's go to, we're going to do a process now.
How about, do you want me to talk about the special offer before the process?
Let's do that. Yeah. So for those of you who are on the live page, you can just click on special offer. Those of you who are not on the live page, you can go to alara.at/show/Ana La Rai, ANALARAI. So there's 6 pieces to this package. Go ahead, Ana La Rai.
So it's the first is a half-hour reading with me, and you book that through my website, so you'll get to pick your times and all of that based on my schedule, and we would do a 30-minute reading. And then there's a group healing that you can attend live on the 25th of January. I think it's on the, I don't have the date in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the morning Pacific time, so 9 in the morning Pacific time, and that is a really good experience. And then I've put in the January 21st live full moon, so you'll get the recording as well. And full moons are something I love. And then I've added, so the October full moon is the one with the chakra upgrade. The November full moon is the copper pods. And then I put in the full moon for March of 2018 because you go back to your birth story and you get to change 3 different parts of your life.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and so this is why I love the full moons. They're all completely different. They're all amazing. And I think, if I wrote it down right, those are all the different things. I will tell you that if you're booking the package, that I only have probably a couple of slots left to do the reading before I go. Otherwise, the readings will be in January, but you can book it now for my time in January. And
awesome.
so I think it's a great package. It's about half price, and I don't normally, unless you're booking it through a show like this, then I don't do half-hour readings. And you're more than welcome to record the reading, and it is a reading rather than energy work. But I think it's got the great tools in it for you. So all of those will assist you in raising your vibration and helping you move forward.
Awesome. So again, there's a 30-minute reading with Ana La Rai. There's the January 21st full moon, January 25th live healing call, plus the March 2018 full moon, the October 2018 full moon, and the November 2018 full moon. And these ones were the ones that we were talking about earlier in the call, about the copper pods, about the 8-week chakra upgrade, and then about changing your birth story, changing 3 parts of your birth story. It's like,
Yep.
So
yeah.
I did put the link in the chat, but for later on, when people are watching or listening, it's alara.at/show/Ana La Rai, ANALARAI.
Yeah. And yeah. I would say, as we move into 2019, that all of these are great vibrational gifts to give yourself. Really. And the other thing I would say, I'm gonna put it out there, it would be a great Christmas present for someone too. So
absolutely.
Get it for yourself, and maybe for someone they'd love to have a reading and receive all these tools as well. So
yeah, absolutely. So you can book the reading now, and like Ana La Rai said, she has some slots available for this month, and then the rest will be in January. So either way, it doesn't really matter, right? Because in January you can start off fresh in the new year and get the reading and see what's coming up. Not necessarily what's coming up, but just see what Ana La Rai's guides and your guides have to say about what's coming up for you, or whatever questions you may have. I think it's a great time to actually get readings at the end of the year and the beginning of a new year, as well as your birthday. I always like to do that around my birthday as well, because then it's like we're already focusing on 2019. We're already focusing on what we're gonna do, what we're gonna create, and where we're going. So why not get that extra support from Ana La Rai to do that? Yeah, so awesome. Thank you. And it is a great gift.
Yeah. So
yeah, thank you.
All right. Any questions about the package before, and then we'll go into some sort of, it'll just be a short guided, because I know we've spent lots of time on questions and answers.
Yep, absolutely. So I know somebody asked a question. Sunny was asking, what exactly is the healing green energy, love, or nature? And that, maybe we'll talk about that during the guided process. Who knows?
No, they probably won't. So, so all of the colors, no matter what, so green is used because it's what people are familiar with, and it has always been the color of the heart chakra. Archangel Raphael has used it as the green healing energy. But it really, all the colors hold different vibrations, and they've all been changing. So you bring in, the easiest thing to do is bring in the color that is guided in the moment. Again, it's a piece of surrender. So you can always bring in green healing energy, but I would bring in, when I'm bringing in colors, I would ask, please bring in the color and energy that is for my highest good, for my healing now. And and if you don't see, just trust whatever comes, because you really don't need to know what color it is. And tomorrow it might be a different color, because you can handle a different frequency. So a lot of the stuff that we've used as templates or guidelines have all changed. What the stones mean, what the colors mean, what color the chakras are. I mean, I've even seen all the chakra colors changing, and getting all these different upgrades. So the more you can be in the now and simply trust, just go with it.
Absolutely. Just ask and trust.
Yes.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So Christy says, Alara brings us rainbow sprinkles on top that can be packets of whatever color you need now, wherever it helps.
Beautiful.
I love rainbow. Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
I work with the rainbow sparkles, so I bring them in all the time. All right, and that's where my company name came from, Sparkles of Love, from all these rainbow sparkles. So, all right. Well, shall we get started on a short
Yep. We are ready.
energy? Okay. So, if you just want to close your eyes, everybody, and stop what you're doing and just connect to the light and just see, feel, or sense as we bring light down from source. And I call forth on any beings of the light of pure source of the ninth dimension of higher who wish to come forward with a message or energy or something for this group now. Greetings, beloved ones. We are the Divine Mothers. And it is we who jump to the front of the queue to come forth this day. There are many who would come to speak to this lovely group, but we wish to come and embrace you. For a mother's love, no matter the relationship that you have had with your current mother, no matter whether it has been loving or challenging or not at all, or you felt unloved, know that the love of the Divine Mother is really the closest in the human experience to that of Source love. So feel now, for we speak as a collective consciousness of all the divine feminine beings of light. And feel as we stand in front of you and connect directly with your heart as we place our right hand on your heart chakra. And just feel now as we send through Ana La Rai and through this hand these vibrations of pure love to you. And all you need to do, beloved, is simply allow. And we wish to share with each of you how truly magnificent you are. And for those of us on the other side of the veil, it continues to puzzle us that you cannot see or feel your own magnificence. For we see you as bright, shining stars. We see you as committed and brave souls who come to endure this earth plane, to be part of the transition. This is the fastest place to shift, but we know that it brings its own challenges. So we look at you with awe and wonder, and with great love and respect. And we on the other side of the veil come through to support you as much as you can. For did you know that when you come through to live in this earth life, that you are connected to soul family members on the other side, and that as you clear and shift and raise your vibrations, that those gifts go to those on the other side of the veil as well. So you not do the work for you only. In this lifetime, you are also assisting your soul family, and it is why we are so present to support you. In simple human terms, there are at least 6 others who are receiving the benefits of what you do. So feel now as these 6 members of your soul family also connect with you and stand around and place their hands on your body. What would be their hands, for they are light beings? As we, the Divine Mothers, continue to pour love into you. And feel how loved you are and how grateful and thankful those on the other side of the veil are for your journey here and now, for all that you do. And even on the days that you feel you do not do enough, or that you are not enough, or you feel hurt or wounded, you feel you are in a low vibration, know that you are doing so much more than you can imagine, and that we are here to support you, both the Divine Mothers and members of your soul family. And the words spoken today of surrender are so critical on your path and in these days and weeks and months to come. For so much will occur that you could not imagine in so many ways. We simply ask you to be present without judgment, to open your heart and to surrender. And yes, some of what will occur will be what you would call horrific or hard or negative, but that is because you judge it that way. And all that will occur, no matter how you see it, are steps forward for this planet, for these people. And when you think or see or feel things that you see as horrific, then simply send love. Stay out of the judgment. Do not share these awful things on your social media, for the negativity grows. Simply send love because you do not see or understand the big picture. And if these horrific things happen to you, move into forgiveness, for you have agreed to be part of this shift, and know that you are loved and supported. And we do not say any of this, beloveds, to put you in any fear, for you are surrounded by light. You are the light. You are magnificent creator beings, and you come to be part of this shift. And so we fill you with more love and more light from all the light being hands and the Divine Mothers on the heart and body. Receive. And on any days that are challenging or a little murky, simply call on us, the Divine Mothers, and we would be happy to be present to support you and love you and assist you. Continue to receive, beloved ones. And the members of your soul family embrace you in a group hug. And they return to their side of the veil, supporting you and loving you. And feel now, as we gift you, what you call, or Ana La Rai calls, a beautiful shawl. We call it our mantle of love. But it is a cloth or a shawl, a cloak, a wrap of love and energy, and you may make it any color you wish. Ana La Rai always makes them pink, as she does everything. And we wrap this shawl of love, this mantle of love around you, so that you may always feel our presence when you tune in to this energetic gift. We are the Divine Mothers, and we are always present to love and support you. Our blessings to each of you. How's everybody doing?
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you. I loved receiving that from the Divine Mothers. Oh my God. It's like,
Can I ever feel it?
right? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And not just from our soul family, you know, that was really special. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Alara, I just wanted to say thank you to you as well, and for hosting your beautiful show and having me on again. And I wish you and your family and all your listeners all the best in 2019, and shall it be a great year for all of us and planet Earth. And I will send off that meditation to you in about a half an hour, and that we can share with everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. And, you know, thank you and, you know, your collectives and your guides for the beautiful messages today, and just the wisdom. And yeah, it was lovely. Larry says my body is gyrating.
I love it.
I love it. That was such a beautiful process. And yeah, thank you. And for everybody, you know, thank you for all of your questions and comments and feedback. Eagle Song Woman says so much love. Sunny says thank you. Yeah, it really, yeah, that was so nice. So thank you. And yeah, wishing you a wonderful time in, where are you going again? Dominican?
The Dominican Republic, yes. And I'm really looking forward to it. So
have a wonderful, wonderful time. And I encourage all of you to take advantage of the special offer that Ana La Rai is presenting today. So you can, you know, there's all those free meditations, plus a live healing call in January, a live meditation, a full moon meditation as well in January, as well as the 30-minute reading with Ana La Rai. So for 127. So please do take a look at that. It's a wonderful gift for yourself, and it's a wonderful gift for others, for sure.
yes.
So thank you. And yeah, wow, I'm looking forward to 2019, and I'm going to take that little clip that you said earlier in the show about how magnificent we really are, and how amazing we are, and that we're masters, and you know, we came here, we chose to be here because we are the A-team.
We're the A-team.
Exactly. So definitely going to remember that, because sometimes when we have those moments, like, you're the A-team, you can do it. So yeah. Thank you. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Wonderful. I will send you the replay out shortly, and please do watch it again, listen to it again, and take advantage of the special offer that's available at alara.at/show/Ana La Rai. And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.